Hello everyone, Alien here with a small video on tips and tricks about how to deal with Landeater in co-op. So Landeater is a very special boss to me as I really enjoy it in general, and if done correctly does not require healers unless you're running something like Scarlet, which can be a surprise as it has some tricky mechanics in some areas. So my first advice is when dealing with the bombs, as you can see here, either passively cleave them through things like the Scarlet Burst here, or deal with them as they get closer by proximity, as they will cluster up and be far easier to deal with. The second trick that I know, for example, some people in my chat didn't know about, is the fact that you can actually iframe these blue missiles that you see. So if I fast forward to after my team was wiped, and I was the sole survivor. Here you can see what I mentioned about dealing with them by proximity. And you will see something quite interesting happening. So I will fail the mechanic here, and the missiles will shoot from here and here, and they will remember the location of my Snow White, as you saw here. So I'll put it back again so that you can see it. As I failed the mechanic, Landeater will shoot these, and in a similar way to how the train in special interception works, as they're fired, they will remember the location of your Nikke, allowing you to iframe it. So here I just take cover. And you can do it the other way around. If you were taking cover, you just start firing. Exactly the same way as Thomas the Train Engine, which allows you to, in case your team messes up one circle for any reason, you can still iframe and dodge the massive amounts of damage that it deals, which is not a joke, as you can see my team here basically all but got wiped out by the barrage of blue missiles. Another thing to keep in mind is that for team compositions, Landeater has a lot of parts damage because these cores over here, core L and R, which are located here and here during phase 2, will continuously regenerate. And Landeater also gains a shield that protects him occasionally, as you can see here, which means that pierce damage, such as Snow White, will actually go through and deal damage directly to the boss, counteracting his entire shielding mechanic. So parts damage and pierce are incredibly good here. Uh, Dorothy being a prime example, as she also gets the Pilgrim bonus, Snow White, but also Alice. Alice will be incredibly good here. For parts damage, you can also get for 20 seconds a novel, for example, in terms of team compositions. And another interesting thing is that Landeater is weak to electric damage, Zeus type. So, for example, Scarlet will deal advantage elemental damage. So these are some things to keep into consideration when building a team against Landeater, especially for dealing with the mechanic that is the interruption mechanic. AoE hits it. So for example, a very strong Rapunzel or a very strong rocket launcher can deal very easily with these circles in one go. As you can see, they're very clustered. So you can actually punch them simultaneously, or you can just decide to clear them quickly one by one. If you mess up, don't worry though. As I said, you can iframe it. It's best not to because it will create some downtime, but overall, it is a very manageable boss if you learn how he works and your team composition reflects it. Um, I can showcase here a little bit what I mean by the pierce. As you can see, bam, the pierce hits, double hits, because I hit at an angle where I can hit both the part and the main body, and also through the shield. dealing damage to the shield, but also just straight up ignoring it because it is a pierce. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, over here, as you can see the pierce damage. So there are some angles that you can take to hit multiple times Landeater. If you're running something like Pierce, like Dorothy, for example, will have the opportunity to shoot through the center and hit multiple times because there is a big part here and a part here, and there's the body as well. And these little corners here, your teammates sometimes, if you're playing Snow White or Maxwell and whatnot, will initially ignore them. And if you manage to get the first burst, you can clip both the part and the body, allowing you for a very sweet double hit on Landeater for some additional damage. Same as I mentioned here. And that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.